When they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up," he said, "take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he'd been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more." If I were to ask you to play the part of Herod in a drama or a nativity, I've found from experience that when you ask someone to read or to play the part of Herod, no one really wants to do it. He's had a bad press. They hesitate. They say things like, "So you want me to be Herod?" The fourth day of Christmas is the feast day of the Holy Innocents, featuring Herod. And it's the gospel story given to us today. In case we've been sort of lulled into a false sense of security, we've gone ooh and ah so much over the nice bits of the Christmas story that maybe we're in danger of forgetting the wagging tongues at a young woman's pregnancy, the story, the setting in Roman-controlled Palestine under a power-mad and dangerous puppet king Herod I. A baby born on the road almost through forced travel and with no room, laid in a manger. And in case our eyes have become blinkered with starlight and tinsel, we now glimpse again, in all its hard and shocking reality, the world he came to save, the world that needed and still needs the salvation of our God. On the feast day of Holy Innocents, the Church remembers the story told in Matthew's Gospel of the appalling cruelty and wickedness of Herod in ordering the massacre of innocent children in a bid to protect his own power base. Fear of losing his grip led him, I suspect, to break the fifth commandment from Exodus chapter 20. "You shall not murder." Now, we don't have any independent historical record to confirm Herod's massacre of these innocent little boys. What we do know is that it was a very Herod thing to do. We know that he murdered his favorite wife, Mariamne, and his mother-in-law, Alexandra. We know that he murdered 3 of his sons, other family members. And in his final hours, he commanded that the leading citizens of Jericho be gathered in the hippodrome to be slaughtered when he died, so that the city would be filled with mourning and tears for his funeral. So it's therefore quite likely that the killing of 20 or 30 children in Bethlehem wasn't particularly notable in the grand scheme of things. It's an appalling story, but sadly also only too familiar to us. What Herod did then is still being done by present-day Herods. This scarred and wounded world which we inhabit is the world into which Jesus was born, the world he came to save. And amongst those brought by his blood through the grave, through the gate of death, into the bliss of heaven, are those children of Bethlehem who died for his name without ever knowing him. They died for Jesus. He later died for them. The holy innocents. But he knows them as he knows and loves every child killed by the action or inaction of Herods. In many countries we might care to name: Syria, Yemen, Ukraine, Mexico, Nigeria, Somalia, Sudan, Israel, Palestine, and more that hit the headlines. And it is appropriate at this time to remember too other forgotten innocents of our time. God's love for children includes pre-born babies. Psalm 139 speaks of his very personal love and plan for each one. It's very moving. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. Today, in the face of this terrible story, we can reaffirm our belief and we can reaffirm the truth that at the heart of the universe is our God, God of both justice and love. Yes, the holy innocents weren't and still are not saved. Yes, God's will is thwarted sometimes. Our enemy, evil, has not yet been fully overcome, but God is involved. He does, in the end, work his purpose out. Joseph is an example for us to follow. We prayed in our collect that through our actions, our following of God, evil would be thwarted. He was a disciple, the first disciple recorded in a way, cooperating with God to make it happen. He showed immediate obedience. He got up, it tells us, during the night. He didn't wait. And he went, taking the child and his mother. There is mystery and there is light for hope in the story. Rachel, we're told, wept for her children and refused to be comforted, as do we, maybe. But the scripture declares they will return from the land of the enemy. So there is hope for your descendants, declares the Lord. Your children will return to their own land. So I'd like to suggest that the governance of this scarred and wounded world that Jesus chose to come to at that particular time in history, the governance of the whole universe now is in the utterly safe and scarred hands of Jesus. Jesus, who is God from all eternity and to the end of time. Amen.